Hey, this is Matthew Justice, second fucking gear crew, and you're listening and you're watching Turnbuckle Tavern.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Turnbuckle Tavern presents the fucking GCW show. As always, I'm your co-host, the motherfucking truth, Mike Belcaster, and with me, filling in for the one bad Chad, a familiar face to the fucking GCW show. Go ahead and throw yourself out there.
It's Stephen Acefield, the ace of the tavern. I am 1/3 of the Honor Society, one half of Shot of Nostalgia, and most of all, I'm just happy to be here. So I'm ready to get GCW action from this weekend. Long time no see, Mike Belcaster.
Hell yeah, man. Always a pleasure. Hope you had a good weekend. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Everything's great on my end. I had some voice trouble this weekend, but seems like it's ready to go right now. I'm projecting. I'm able to get my ideas out there, so I'm not too worried about it until it gives out later in the night.
Listen, man, I was you 2 weeks ago, and I was just doing everything, and I was like, "Hi, my name is Mike."
The goddamn pollen.
The goddamn pollen.
I don't know what's going on, but
deathmatch
pollen.
Hardcore.
Yeah, deathmatch pollen.
For sure, man. Yeah. Before we get into everything, we got our usuals here. We got Tyson Trevino. We got Nick Storm. Voice of an angel ace. He's putting you over as he should, right? That's what we do.
Nick Storm, Tyson, nice to see you guys.
Hell yeah. Let's get through some shilling while we're here. Check out theturnbuckletavern.com for all of your Turnbuckle Tavern badass needs. We have a plethora of content here for you guys. Monday, the Turnbuckle Debate. Tuesday, Broken VCR, the fucking GCW. Wednesday, you got the WWE content of all content, the Raw Down. Thursday, you get the flagship Turnbuckle Tavern podcast featuring the two bad Chads, Call the Hawk, Freem's Fab Five. It's something not to miss. Fridays, you get the Turnbuckle Sessions with myself and Thomas Montelto, the OG Fig Kid. And then Saturday, you get the audio goodness of Fig Night, man. So check that out. This good times across the board. And if you are more interested into the live show aspect, we got live streaming Monday, which is today. Every weekend after a GCW event, we have the fucking GCW show, of course. Tuesday, Fig Night, right around dinner time. Get your Figgy content in nice and early, right before the Raw Down. And then Wednesday, you get to join myself, the OG Fig Kid, and Freems, twitch.tv/Freems. See, I got that memorized now for the All Elite wrap-up. And then Thursday, you get to join us for the Honor Society, which is our good friend Acefield Retro. We got the one bad Chad Sneed, and we got Freems, baby. It's a good time. And while you're at theturnbuckletavern.com, go, shill some merch. You get the one bad Chad shirt or two bad Chad shirt. My apologies. The Turnbuckle Tavern, the Pirate Ship of Wrestling podcast. You can get your Mike Belcaster merch. I have a Mike effing Belcaster shirt, which I think is more formable for the GCW show, but you can also get on the Mike Belcaster guy shirt. Beautiful as both it goes. Then also at our Teesprings, you get the fucking GCW show mugs, the two bad Chads mugs. You get all the cool shit that's X-rated for pro wrestling tees. They just don't want to put it out there. So we make it happen for the fans, of course, always. So that's enough shilling on my end, right?
Oh man, I'm out of breath. You're like Excalibur going down the card for Dynamite and Rampage for the next 2 weeks. But how can you?
Before commercial
so
break
much going on there, and the only thing that's missing on there is our Shot of Nostalgia, which you guys can check out. Our first show is on Friday. We will be returning to you on Friday with the second episode. We're reviewing WCW 1996. But what else can you want from Turnbuckle Tavern? We're giving you it all.
Hell yeah. No, Shot of Nostalgia is a fun time. If you guys haven't checked it out, we go back in time. We take the DeLorean. We hit all the gigawatts we get right back to Monday Night Nitro, right in the beginning, right before it exploded into existence for everybody. And you get to see it all unfold in front of your very eyes with myself and Acefield, man. It's a good time. I thought Friday's show was fantastic. I can't wait to do it again this week.
I'm looking forward to it. And we have the next 2 episodes of Nitro to review, and we're off to the races. So can't wait to relive 1996, which is arguably one of the best years in wrestling history. And WCW was a huge part of that.
Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy, man. It's fun to go back. I really enjoy rewatching those old episodes because we've seen William Regal wrestle a young Chris Benoit. We've seen William Regal wrestle Eddie Guerrero. Like you're getting some really, really fun stuff there. So make sure you guys go check it out. Drop a like, subscribe, follow, share, Karen.
And the one thing I want to say about that is there was a lot of conversation that was kind of tied to GCW because we talked about some of the veterans that were signed to WCW at the time. But imagine if you can fast forward to 2022 and GCW was doing its thing like they are now, and you had the ability to add some veterans like a Macho Man Randy Savage or even Chris Benoit or like Eddie Guerrero and those guys. They would thrive in this environment that is being created. So, wow. Just an absolute
1,000%, man.
Absolute joy to think about. But let's get into Find You Again. Are you ready? We're going to get to the news, I think, first, right?
Yeah, let's wiggle through some news. I have it up on my phone as well, so we could just get through the reading aspect of it, because, that's the best part of everything is reading stuff right in front of your very eyes. Let me get the graphic ready. I'm no bad Chad, so bear with us, folks. But GCW announced the IWTV lawsuit settlement went down. So let's throw this graphic up here real fast, and I'll give it a read through for our podcast listeners. Game Changer Wrestling is pleased to announce that we have come to terms on a settlement agreement with IWTV that brings an end to litigation between the parties. The agreement represents a significant milestone for GCW, but most importantly serves as a victory for independent wrestling and its fans. This agreement also affirms our long-held belief that GCW is the sole owner of our extended library, which includes all Game Changer Wrestling, Jersey Championship Wrestling, and LA Fight events. This is important not just for GCW, but for all independent wrestling promotions across the United States and abroad, as we all navigate the ever-changing landscape of professional wrestling. Further, this agreement removes obstacles that had previously limited our ability to capitalize on our content and clears the way for us to move forward with ambitious plans to change the game in 2022 and beyond. Most importantly, the settlement allows us to focus all of our efforts and resources on what matters, producing and delivering the best product possible for our rapidly growing and global fan base. Finally, while this agreement defines a conclusion to our relationship with IWTV, it does not mean it's the last time you will see GCW on the platform. As part of the agreement, GCW will provide IWTV with the Settlement Series, a series of 8 live events spanning the course of next year. We look forward to announcing the dates and details on these events in the coming weeks. This last year has been trying as a small business. Our resources are not unlimited. Litigation was a last resort, but a necessary step in establishing our independence. At the end of the day, we thrive in the arena, and our resources are best directed towards the ring, not the courtroom. Enduring this process would not have been possible without support from our crew, our performers, and most importantly, the fans. Your loyalty has been unwavering, and together we continue to make history to take both Game Changer Wrestling and independent wrestling to new heights. That's a mouthful as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, listen,
Dude,
if you guys aren't familiar with it.
I think a big thing about this, it seemed to really polish, not to cut you off, Mike Belcaster, I apologize.
Yeah,
but
no, you're beautiful, man.
just the fact that this is so polished for an outlaw mud show. It seems like they have somebody else and they have some serious intentions to be a little bit more professional in the future, which might tie into our other news story. But I'll let you continue. Give people the background about when this started and what the lawsuit was over, I guess.
Yeah. So there was back in June 2021, IWTV filed a lawsuit against GCW for committing breach of contract over pay-per-view events, claiming that they had exclusive rights to film, produce, and digitally distribute GCW pay-per-views. GCW began airing events on Fight TV in December of 2020, which led to the lawsuit from IWTV. So they basically were, trying to say, this is our shit. You guys can't move forward with it. And we all know that, if you own a company, that's your bread and butter. That's your content. That's, that would be like the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast saying, "Oh, you guys can't do, Fig Night, the Turnbuckle Tavern, so we're going to sue you for it." Which I know they wouldn't, but just putting pairs in the same peach. But yeah, man,
well, I think a
very
huge
happy
thing,
to
dude,
hear.
a huge thing about this is it has long-lasting effects for the rest of the indie promotions that are out there, because indie promotions are trying to put themselves in the spotlight. It's not just about the local venue hosting and people coming to the live event. They want to have a reach that's a little bit different. And with social media and streaming possibilities, you have places like House of Glory, which is local to me. And shout out to, that promotion, because they do a lot of great work. But they want to have ability to get past just the local market. And if this was ruled in IWTV's favor, and I know they settled out of court, but if they ruled in their favor, that says a bad for independent wrestling, because I guess it would be set that they didn't own content. And I think that is a huge thing. I mean, they were claiming that there was an estimated $500,000 loss in revenue, which I'm just happy that it's all closed up, because for GCW, this is the type of thing that could put them under, because they're a small promotion. I know they're making some money now and they're doing the touring and all that, and they're doing pretty well, but one huge blow like this could be detrimental to any growth, and I'm just glad it's in the past.
Oh, 100%. So kudos, congrats GCW. I'm looking forward to the settlement series, because I know there's going to be some good shit on it, because GCW seems to always deliver, especially when their backs are put against the wall, and I'm looking forward to it very much. So next on the news list, we got indie supervillain Charles Mason arrived this weekend. He was at Find You Again, popped up, this grim look on his face. He was slapping fans and yelling at them, and it was great. I think this is we need a really good antagonist in the GCW world. It's hard not to be the over-face villain guy, but I think he's gonna be great, kin to Atticus Kroger, and he just got let go not too long ago. There's some shit going on with them, so I'm pumped for it, man.
Yeah, I think with him, I mean, I recently saw him. I mentioned House of Glory. He's their current Crown Jewel champion, and he plays a great heel. And him and Low-Key had this epic feud over the Crown Jewel Championship. So I'm not sure if you could find those matches on streaming, but if you look out there, or if they're in your local market, go out to see them. If you're in the Northeast somewhere, check them out, because I mean, he's only been around since 2017, but his work has been, it feels like he's been doing it much longer. And I'm looking forward to see what he can do, expanding his, I guess, his market and his ability to hone his craft in GCW, because I think it fits his style really well. I mean, he came out with the piano wire, and I know we'll probably talk about that during the show. That choice of weapon is pretty unique. It's actually funny, because piano wire, Low-Key and him were going back and forth, and they had this like kind of mafia-like feud going on in House of Glory. But the piano wire, there's something super scary about him putting the gloves on and trying to choke you to death with a piano wire. And I don't know. He just has that look. Like you said, he looks like a really dastardly heel. And I think in GCW, like you said, there's a huge need, because all the dastardly heels are just, you're sort of rooting for them, because they're just the rough and tumble type of character. But this guy seems like he's going to be unanimously booed, not the Cardona way, but in a way he's just a bad guy. So it should be cool.
100%. He brings like an American Psycho vibe to the ring, especially with the piano wire and stuff. So like, it's, how can you not love it and hate it at the same time?
Yeah,
for sure. And then during the weekend, we seen Murdoch come out and challenge Cologne to the Cage's survival match, June 5th. I'm amped up. I'm worried. I'm scared. I'm frightened. I'm excited. I don't know how many other feelings I can feel about this. I think it's going to be an absolute crazy ass match.
Yeah, if Murdoch's going to try to top what he did this weekend with the blood and gore that he brought to this weekend, we're in for a treat. if you were into blood and guts and all that type of wrestling, he brings it to the table every time he's out there, whether it be with weapons or just the blood. It's his style is not for everybody, and I'm certain this match won't be for everybody. But for me, GCW built their brand on this type of wrestling, and I think it has a huge part of the card. And Murdoch is just carrying over that tradition of these deathmatch style matches, and I'm sure this match is not going to be for the faint of heart. They've had a history of working together, and I think the two of them are going to go out there and steal the show. I mean, I thought that Murdoch had a really, really great weekend. I would say both of his matches were great. And we'll get into the specifics of the matches, but I'm just looking forward to them creating these stars and branching out of just bringing guys in, like a Janela. I know he's like kind of a almost a GCW original feeler. Like he feels like he's part of the GCW fabric. But I like these other guys that are developing that you can kind of send off to other promotions and say, here's what we got. And you could, brand and the forbidden door that's opened. Maybe GCW can play a huge part by sending these guys once they're fully developed. And I think that's a really good thing for them.
Yeah, 100%. And while we're talking about Murdoch, I wanted to show this little promo package they put out from him post the collective. So let's take a look at that real quick.
A lot of people didn't think this fucking day was going to happen. A lot of people told me to stay away from GCW, that they were only going to use you, they were only going to bury you, and then they were going to fucking get rid of you when the time was right. But this is proof that all you motherfuckers were wrong. That all you were wrong. That this is where I fucking belong. Not only do I belong at GCW, but I belong at the fucking top. And the deathmatch game is gonna step up in GCW. You want more death matches to show? So do fucking I. You sick of only 2 of them to show? So am I. But goddamn it, that's all gonna fucking change. So GCW, get used to the way this fucking looks.
Unbelievable.
You man, like I feel like they need a face. Nick Gage is the face of GCW, but you almost need to branch out from Nick Gage. I think he could be potentially the face, and I think we'll get into the specifics of his match with Janella, but just going back, and I know we didn't get a chance to put the GIFs and videos in here, but the Avalanche Destroyer that he did through the door to Janella was just absolutely unreal. And for a bigger, for not a big guy, but for a guy that doesn't seem like he could be flying around like he does, he's shockingly agile and the ability to take a beating more. Really.
100%. No, super cool. I'm pumped for it, man. I'm super, super excited. He's a crazy bastard, and I love crazy bastards.
Yeah, I mean, there were some complaints about people, like they were saying that they're moving away from the deathmatch model, and I look at GCW as they're not moving away from the death matches. They're just trying to expand their audience and want people to get a different taste of a lot of different things, and I think they've been doing a really good job of that. Because if you have 8 matches in the card that are just death matches and cages and barbed wire and light tubes and tables, people are going to get it won't mean as much. And I think they're doing a really good job of when you have that death match or you have that really bloody, gory match on a card, it really means that much more because you didn't see it all night. And I think that was the case with this weekend for sure.
No, 100%. Like, Find You Again was very docile compared to the old me. So it was refreshing kind of coming out of the first show into the second show, getting that. I love the death matches and Harpos. I think it's fucking awesome vibe, good look and everything. So I totally 100% agree with you on that one. So moving on. You
mentioned Harpos. The thing is with the venues is a huge thing. The venues are, I mean, you guys, last time I was on here with you guys was right before the collective. And just the fact that these venues are becoming the superstars themselves, where it's just another piece to the puzzle of making these shows memorable. And the difference between Friday night show, which Find You Again, and then the old me on Saturday, I think the biggest difference, I mean, you mentioned there's more blood and guts on the second show, but being in Harpos is just, it took it to the next level for me.
Yeah, 100%. I like, it becomes part of the lore, it becomes part of what lures you in. You see these guys working at these cool, interesting, very intriguing venues. And like from Harpos with the high stage, to the cool back row of people that's elevated from the ground. I think it just looks better in presentation wise. And then you also got, you put out the bigger, better matches on these bigger, grander stages. I think it makes it feel more, you want to see more of that. You want to be there for that kind of stuff. Like I would go to Harpos just for a show based off of what I've seen with GCW at Harpos. Like it sells it so much better.
Yeah, even at the show in the Roxy, like that's their best quality as far as match quality. It was a fun night. I wouldn't say it was a bad show, but being at the Roxy made it one of the best shows of the year for GCW. And I'm not sure if I'm just speaking, in hyperbole, but I think the venues are so much important to what they're doing and the message and the atmosphere they want to get across. It feels intimate. It feels special. And Harpo's had that. I didn't feel like they had it in Ohio the night before. And, that might just be me. Some people like the fairgrounds type of shows, but for me, I like when they're in these small, intimate venues that it feels like it's, standing room only. And then you have to fight your way in and it's a smaller crowd, but it feels, I guess, more important. I don't know. I don't know another way to say it.
No, I wholeheartedly agree, man. It's just as important as who's working the card. It adds that value to it. So I think it's time to move into some
GCW top fucking tweets.
I think it's like my favorite segment of most turnbuckle shows.
We got some good tweets loaded in there. I know we got some good tweets in there.
Yes, it's always a good time. So let's go right into it. From our staple of the fucking GCW show, good old Emil J. I loved it when Mike Awesome finally fucked Spike Dudley up. Every time he threw that little piece of shit through a table, I got so excited. I hoped for permanent damage to his vertebrae every time. God, I hate Spike Dudley.
Oh my God.
Listen, he's not wrong, but I the hatred of Spike Dudley. I love Spike Dudley. I always read a little under.
Did you see the meme going around with Spike Dudley, Bellcaster?
No, I have not.
It's just a picture of him, his promo photo from ECW, and it just says, if you see the lead singer of the hardcore band looks like this and he has his fists up, you're about to get fucked up in the pit. I was dying laughing.
I seen the same thing, but with Dan the Dad.
Oh, yeah.
And I popped pretty hard for it. It was good stuff.
So funny.
What do we got next? AJ Gray. It's okay to say, hey, I don't like this person. Stop making shit up because you don't like someone. And, that's a good rule, a thumb for everywhere, I think, right? That is pretty good, well-spoken words. Yeah, I love it. Next up we have Mance Warner. SGC would beat the shit out of all these factions. And I don't disagree with
Forbidden Door stuff. I want to see the Blackpool Combat Club. I have a word with them.
Ooh, wouldn't that be a fucking hell of a mashup there, man?
I mean, the entree's there already. You got John Moxley. He's part of it. He's in both worlds.
It would be great. I'd love to see Bryan Danielson hit up the GCW stage once in a great while. It'd be good. Alex Colon, just quit the shoot job. Send me your prayers and wishes of luck. So good luck, Alex Colon. I know that feeling when you quit the shoot job. It's not fun. A little bit of uncertainty, but I think he's going to be all right. He's a fucking very talented kid.
Yeah, and honestly, that is, you're buying into yourself and you're doubling down to say, this is what I want to do with my life, and good for you, Alex. I think, I'm a big fan. I love what you do. So I think it's a huge compliment to you that you had the courage to do it, because it's not easy, like Bellcaster was saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, AJ Gray responding to a wrestling news tweet that says Brian Cage on his rescinded NXT offer. They said they say you are average at best, and we no longer are interested. And AJ Gray says, you'll catch me in a pair of Wranglers before you catch me snitching on myself like that.
Oh my God. I guess AJ had some time to tweet it, because I mean, he was stuck in Tennessee for the first show. I mean, for the second show.
No, for sure. So
get some time on the Twitter machine.
You gotta love it, man. He pops up one more time in the list, just throwing it out there. Next, we got Blackwood. It says, be nice to fans at the merch table, man. All they want to do is buy your shit and tell you they love what you do. If they're not crossing any physical or personal boundaries, just fucking be kind. And I will say that rings true for a lot of indie talent. I've seen some assholes in the business, not calling out any names, but he's right, man. All marks want to do is shill your shit, buy your stuff, tell you how much we're fans, appreciate your work, man. Like, be good to us.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I've been and like just like you, that maybe someone has had a bad day or something like that, but I've had interactions that were negative with some wrestlers, and you've just been looking forward to seeing them all day, waiting in line on the merch table. And it's the worst feeling when someone doesn't live up to, like, I was a huge fan of a certain wrestler. And again, I'm not naming names because I don't know how far this is going to go, but it sucks because it really takes them down a notch in your book. You don't really remain such a big fan because of that one negative interaction. You can make someone's day so easily by just being kind to them.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. So word of wise, anybody listening, be good to your fans.
Be kind to everybody. How about that? Just be kind to everybody.
Fuck the fan base. Just be good to everybody. Next up, we got Nick Wayne takes a picture of the high incident match and says game changing at GCW Wrestling _. Yeah, man, the setup for this match looks fucking immaculate and wild. And I know we'll dabble on that in a few, but
dude, every time I see a scaffold, I think of Jim Cornette falling and breaking his legs at Starrcade 86. Like every time.
It's that or New Jack killing people.
Well, that too. I mean, that as well. Like him tasering, I forget the guy's name, and then he falls to the table. It's like could have been dead. I don't understand how he didn't. That guy wasn't seriously paralyzed.
He got lucky, very lucky.
I think because he had no control of his body. I don't think he had a choice. He just landed flat on his back.
Yeah, he looked like when you hit somebody with a car in Grand Theft Auto and they go full ragdoll and just fly down the block.
Yeah, that New Jack Dark Side of the Ring was really eye-opening because like New Jack was like, yeah, I just tased the motherfucker and I just tossed him over.
He's like, I was high on cocaine. I just fucking tased that mother. I was trying to kill him.
Well, luckily we didn't see that on this show. So
yeah, R.I.P. New Jack.
R.I.P. What a fucking legend.
Right. Next one is up from Jordan Oliver. Said losing, angry emoji. It was an epic contest. Fans threw money. I'm grateful for the opportunity, but damn, I can't keep losing, yo. Angry emoji again. I gotta figure it out. Clap, clap. Emojis. Tonight, the Outlaws return to Detroit. Clap emoji. Yeah, man. Jordan Oliver is fucking killing it. And I know he's been on a losing streak, but he's been great, man.
Well, if wrestling teaches us anything over the past couple of years, it doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's a matter of how you market yourself and how you bounce back from it. So you can become a bigger star. Look at Wheeler Yuta in a losing effort. So it's a matter of how you get back up and sell your character. And social media gives you the platform 24/7. And a lot of these guys are utilizing, especially GCW. These guys, look at tweets of the week. Every week, these guys are out there commenting on things that are relevant in the wrestling world and not even the wrestling world. The fact that you have AJ Gray out there just talking about Brian Cage or whatever's on his mind is like, it's a good thing because it's bringing eyes to the product.
100%. And I mean, listen, that's half of the work there is marketing yourself, branding yourself, being openly talkative to the public. I think it's very important.
Yeah, as long as you're not saying the wrong thing. So far, some of these guys are saying, but it fits within the GCW universe where they could just be saying certain things that maybe off color or just not in the right context, but it almost fits their brand. Like you're almost expecting from these deathmatch wrestlers, which adds. I mean, the fact that these deathmatch wrestlers are so accessible. Think about back in the day if you had, I don't know, Abdullah the Butcher. If you're able to interact with him on Twitter, it feels surreal. We have the ability to have him at our fingertips that you can be like, hey, great match, or we can get him on the show. Like we had Gringo Loco here. That was never possible. It was like you had to see Abdullah on tapes, or if he came to your town, if you were lucky enough, when he put the fork in his head.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like there's the brighter side of the kayfabe trying to kind of dying out throughout time is that we get to interact with these people and these names. Like if Bruiser Brody had a Twitter account, I don't know how I would feel about that.
Yeah,
it might take away some of the lore,
I don't know if, I mean, that's one thing too. It's the transparency of accepting what wrestling is now
Yeah.
but also keeping up the kayfabe of making people believe in what you're doing. And I think guys in GCW specifically, you want to bring it back to like Cardona. Cardona is the perfect guy where wrestling's fake, but you feel like he really doesn't want to be in GCW. And like, I still don't know if he actually freaking hates GCW or not, because he is playing a really, really great heel character. And I think that's a beautiful thing, because it's like he shows up and collects a paycheck, pad my lope, and whatever he says.
Yeah.
But what's real and what's not, that's where the line gets blurred. And I think that's awesome. So, and the transparency of social media can be a lot of fun when used correctly.
100%. It's a new era of kayfabe. You know, you can work it, make it great. Next one we got. Email Jay. Once again, I thought the ending of AEW fucking ruled. Sorry they didn't follow the code of honor or whatever, you little crybaby dork.
I take offense to that, goddammit. What the hell?
He has not seen the Honor Society yet, but maybe we can change that.
I feel like it's my duty now. I have to go there and like change his mind.
Yeah, man.
Shake hands, goddammit.
Email's the sign, man. You got to respect the email. Fuck Spike Dudley.
The
Next
match
up,
I didn't know I needed.
Yeah, right. The Allie Katch. I swear to God, I was typing up a really inspirational tweet about going to the gym lately when I saw the biggest spider coming towards me, and now I can't. And now it can have the fucking machine and the whole gym. Spiders. Listen. You could be a deathmatch queen, king. You could be, the GCW tag team champion, but fuck spiders, man.
Insects do not bother me at all. I think I'd be bothered by light tubes and thumbtacks, but I'm not bothered by insects. I'm the first guy to take them outside. I won't kill a spider. I'll pick it up gently in a napkin and I'll put it right outside. So there's the ace of the tavern. I'm a real nice guy.
I like it.
I'm a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Don't sell the man short. I'm with her. The only thing I don't fuck with is spiders. As long as they're, if they're quarter sized, I'm not worried about it. But if I see one that's like the size of my palm, I'll freak the fuck out a little bit.
Fair enough.
We don't get that too much here in the States, so we're good. Next one we got AJ motherfucking Gray. It's a picture from Lacey Evans. She tweeted, instead of getting high today, some of y'all need to worry about that 420 credit score.
Oh,
and AJ Gray quote tweets it and says, "This seems racist somehow." All I gotta say is that he's not wrong.
He's not, and he doesn't shy away from hot button issues. So, and he's going after people that are signed in other companies. So that's his forbidden door. That's his way in.
Absolutely, Lacey Evans, shame on you. All right, you leave our credit scores out of this shit.
I'm not a fan of Lacey Evans anyway, so whatever.
No,
do your work. Do your work, social media. Get rid of her.
Damn right. Next up, we got from the motherfucking the drip god himself, the bass god, Gringo Loco. A diamond is just a piece of charcoal that dealt with stress extremely well. That should be on like a fucking work motivational poster.
Oh, hell yeah. With like the waves in the background and like someone staring at the water.
Up in the Costco break room,
Gringo Loco is the man. That interview you guys did was so well done and it was so informative. I applaud you guys. You got some stories at him that I've never heard, and I've been following his career for a bit now. So really well done. Kudos to you guys. And Gringo Loco, thank you for coming on. And I heard that you enjoyed some pizza as well, or he gave you guys some pizza. What was the story there?
So we brought up, Chad asked us, since we were both Chicago boys, who has the better pizza? And, we both kind of said Lou Malnati's because it's unique. It's different than like your Giordano's or your Gino's E's, because those are like shitty branding things. Like you come to Chicago, you get off the airport, or you get out of the airport, the first thing you see is like a Giordano's billboard. Lou Malnati's doesn't really like advertise like that, but they have handmade pizza. They toss dough daily. They like massage the fucking cheese into that thing, and then they top it with like really fat tomatoes, really good sauce. And so we both were like, shit, man. He's like, oh, I don't eat carbs anymore. And I was like, but they have on their menu a crustless pizza where the whole crust is a slab of fucking sausage. So that's for your keto guys out there and your carbless friends. Check out that crustless pizza over at Giordano's, man.
Gringo working on the showbot and a little dough foreplay at Luma Nati's. I think that's what it's all about. You got to treat each dough a little sensual and get them going a little bit, right?
Yeah, man. It's you put the love into it. And speaking of the base god, Gringo Loco, he tweeted out our fucking interview, which was a sweet. And he was not only, he didn't just retweet our shit, he posted everybody who mentioned it on social media, basically got a shout out from Gringo. Awesome dude. Again, fucking sweet ass interview. Amazing worker and an even better fucking human being. If you guys have not check that out yet, please go check it out. It's a fucking fun like hour of me and Chad just picking the brain of Gringo Loco and telling stories together. Great time, man.
Yeah, you want to bring it back to the merch table being nice to the fans at the merch tables. He took the time to, I mean, everyone that sees that now sees the nice guy that he is. And you made fans all over the world by just having that interview. Now people are going to check out your content. And I'm not saying he did it for that reason, but that's the way you get people to kind of catch on to you. Like, oh, that's a really nice guy. And everyone that I've shown the interview to, maybe that if they weren't familiar with his work, they're like, I now want to check him out because he seems like a really awesome guy. And That's how fans are born. So,
such a awesome aspect of being a pro wrestler from Chicago, taking on Lucha Libre as his passion. And I fucking love that, man, because when I was a kid, that was what was my WCW like appetizer. I would get into that and see these guys working this lucha style, you know, and just enjoying the shit out of it. And if I was as young as I was back then and I really wanted to become into wrestling, I think I would have tried to do the same thing almost, because it stands out. And then now he's putting on his own shows. You know, he does the World on Lucha, and it's badass, man. And huge congrats to him on making a hell of a career for himself.
Yeah, and the future is super bright for him. I think we've only tapped into the great work he's done. I think he's only going to do better things in the future. And 2022 is just getting started. And I think by the end of this year, I think his name is going to be much bigger, and he's going to be out there doing tours of other promotions that maybe he didn't think he'd be doing.
Hell yeah,
at the beginning of 2020, let's just say.
That's it, dude. And you hustle hard enough, you work hard enough, you eat that sausage crust, keep your figure in shape, you're gonna be doing great.
He's the man, guys. Really check out that interview and support the show and the hard work that Mike and both Chad put into that interview. They took the time to well research it and then give you guys really good content for free, by the way. It's all free.
Yeah, no subscription pluses, no benefits, no nothing. You're getting all of it under one tier, and that's just being a fucking fan of the podcast. That's what I like to hear.
Hell yeah.
Well, with top tweets concluding with our awesome Gringo Loco, I think it's time to move on to the
Ain't No Jive 5.
Ain't No Jive 5, man. We pick out our top 5 matches, moments, things that we've seen throughout the weekend. Yeah, man. Ace, you're the place. Kick it off, brother.
All right. So do you want me to start with number 5 or you want me to start with number 1? How's this go?
Go. We'll work 5 and then up.
All right. So I'm going to start with number 5. And it wasn't a match. And I did message you. Says, is it cool if I not do a match? But this was a small moment that people might have missed. But in the opening contest of night 1, Blake Christian was wrestling. And after the match, he was getting people to chant Johnny Wrestling, hinting at potentially Johnny Gargano. Either they know something or he's just trying to start a groundswell to get him over there. I have to say, has me thinking a whole bunch of stuff about Gargano spending some time in GCW. And I just think about the dream matches that could potentially happen. I'm really looking forward to, I guess, the conjecture. If you just get the match Blake Christian and Gargano out of this, that's enough for me. But if you start to really, there's a lot of different things you can do with Gargano in that promotion.
No, 100%. There's so many names I would love to see him work, like a Jordan Oliver or like even Janella. Would be fantastic to see Johnny Wrestling versus Joey Janela. I just think the potential's endless. Possibilities are endless. a lot of potential for Gargano. And it would be a cool place for him to kind of make a debut back, not signing with an AEW or Ring of Honor right off the bat, and just kind of like dip his feet in the water before he comes out and makes a big debut somewhere.
Yeah, I think that everyone was like so, I guess, confident that he'd be showing up in Cleveland for AEW. And
Yeah.
for me, I think the best thing for him to be doing would be travel different promotions, maybe go to Mexico and AAA or go to Japan, and just kind of build up the, some more resume and do a different type of style. And he showed in NXT he can work those hardcore style matches. I mean, look at the matches with Ciampa. They really got into it with weapons galore on those takeover matches. So I'd be curious for him to step it up a little bit, just a step up and maybe do a death match or just wrestle guys in that arena, have him work a Harpos event. That would be cool enough to see Gargano there because he's a huge star. And I think it's, we've been missing him. I know he's spending time at home with his family, but you have to think he's coming back to wrestling sometime soon.
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more. Imagine him in a Roxy space or Harpos,
Yeah.
Even in Atlanta, I would love to see him just show up at the Carnival and fucking tear shit down, man. I think it would be awesome.
Yeah, he's been he's been really lost in the sauce. And I think we've just forgotten about him. And I think he was a huge name that came up when his contract expired. Everyone just expected him to get signed elsewhere. And at first I wanted him to show up at AEW, but he's the guy that would be sort of lost on the card like an Andrade and just be stuck in that TNT title picture. But the perfect thing for him to do is kind of take like a Will Ospreay approach and just, go to Japan and do your stuff. But I would love him to make a stopover in GCW. I know that the door is open for GCW in New Japan with Minoru Suzuki coming over and all that. Yeah. So find a way to do that and maybe go to AAA and do something like that because I think Gargano, with the reins being kind of unleashed on him, being able to not have to work in that WWE style. I know that NXT let him do a whole bunch of different stuff, but Gargano can go much, much, much further than he probably even showed us in NXT.
Absolutely. And you said it. He's lost in the sauce. I would love to see him come to GCW and get lost in some more sauce fighting Hot Sauce Alex Zane, because I think that would be a banger of a match, man.
This is why you're a professional. This is why you're the co-host of the fucking GCW show. You bring it all the way back.
You got it, man. We can't leave a fucking GCW show without bringing up Hot Sauce Alex Zane.
Oh yeah.
So my number 5, I tend to stick to matches because it's like what translates the best, but ACH versus Chris Dickinson, man. It was just a good, well-rounded back and forth contest. ACH is incredible in the ring. Dickinson got the win on this, but it was awesome to see these two kind of mash up and go against each other. If not for the first time in a long time. I really enjoyed the match. I just thought it was fun.
Oh, absolutely. And I love Chris Dickinson. I don't think he gets enough spotlight. People kind of forget about him, but I thought during WrestleMania weekend, really put a spotlight on him. I think people were talking about him and his performance for that weekend. The match, getting the win over ACH, I was happy to see it. And then him getting on the mic after and him praising ACH was really awesome as well. So giving back to GCW and trying to make new stars and keep the stars rising. That was a really nice touch by Dickinson. And he didn't have to do it. I just thought it was really awesome.
Yeah, and it's good. Like I know ACH had his troubles when he was signed with NXT as Jordan Miles, and listen, it seemed like he was at the end of his road there for a while. Like he announced he was retiring from wrestling. He showed up one more time, and I forgot where. It was another independent promotion, and then he kind of retired again. But I think he's way too talented of a performer to not be in this business, and I'm so happy. Not just that he's back, but he's in GCW for the time being. Like it's awesome place for him to showcase his in-ring work, man. So
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. I think we're going to see a lot of good things from there, and I think that's a beautiful part about GCW. They welcome all different people of different skill sets, and they highlight them in the best way they can, and that's what makes GCW fun to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 4.
So my number 4 was Minoru Suzuki defeating Too Cold Scorpio. I'm sure this found your way on one of your top 5, but
Oh, yeah.
This was a real dream match for me. I got to be honest with you. With Suzuki making the entrance and getting a really nice response, having him get the Kazanina Ray here. But I want to mention the commentary team did bring up that Suzuki has wrestled more times for GCW than any other North American promotion. So I'm not sure if you caught that, but it was very interesting to think about because Suzuki has had his run through North America probably since, I would say, 6 months ago he started here. I guess the first match with Bryan Danielson on Rampage, and then he kind of has been working all these different promotions.
Yeah.
And then Too Cold Scorpio. I mean, the guy's a legend. He came out the Jungle Boogie, got a huge response for it. Awesome to see him in the ring. He looks like he's in good shape for an older guy. Other thing, too, the Murder Grandpa chant was getting going, and it seems like it's finally getting over with everybody. And it's weird to me that Minoru Suzuki is like hearing that because I feel like we all talk about it, but he never acknowledges it. But I wonder what he feels like when someone explains to him in translation, or maybe he understands the word grandpa, but whatever it means in Japanese, murder grandpa, this is you. And I wonder if he is offended by that and wants to kill the people that started the chant, or is he actually going to embrace it as like the murder grandpa? So
100%, man.
You and I were texting about this match. I thought great match. I thought it was stiff with the chops and all that going on. And both these guys showed a lot. They still have a lot to give to the business. It was a little bit shorter than usual. We saw at the end with the Gotch style pile driver. I was impressed that Too Cold Scorpio did take the pile driver, and he took it well.
Hell yeah.
Speaking about honor, they shook hands at the end of the match, which was cool. Yeah, I mean, you can't ask for anything better. It was a little bit short, but I don't think you could have had it go any longer. I think it was perfect.
110%. I'll touch up on it when I get to it. But speaking of honor, my number 4 was the great Bandito versus Joey Janela.
Oh man.
And Joey Janela was going to pop up on this list way too much. So I had to really narrow it down because he busted his leg the first night. He took that picture. It was swollen like a fucking softball. And he came out on the old meat and had this banger of a match with Bandito, man, jumping off the stage all the way to the ring. Like Joey Janela is a different being. Bandito is so goddamn good. I don't know what more you could ask for out of a match between these two. This was fantastic.
Yeah, spoiler alert, this was my number 1, so I'll go into it when I get to it. But yeah, I mean, what you said was perfect. Bandito is an underrated guy, and I think a big part about Bandito, we talked about him on Honor Society. He obviously was involved in the Supercard of Honor main event for it was the main event for the championship, where he lost to Jonathan Gresham. And Bandito is one of those guys that he's so good, but he's always playing second fiddle to somebody else. And I thought at this show, it feels like GCW gives him the opportunity to be that guy who's the best guy, maybe on the card work rate wise. And I think him and Janela really jived really well. And I thought they meshed perfectly. And Janela stepped his game up since being released by AEW, or the contract expired, whatever you want to say about it.
Yeah.
Because I think he took it as a slight that they didn't want him. And I think he really took the time to get his body back in shape and the ability to, motivate yourself based on the perceived failure. This was a nice way to, I guess, give Joey Janela his flowers with a great match with Bandito, because he was able to showcase the things he can do in the ring, and still take the risk that he wants to take by being the extremist he is.
Yeah, couldn't put it better myself. I feel like we're starting to get more and more of Janela getting his flowers, which makes me so happy. But we'll get more to it when we hit number 1, because we're both kind of sharing the number 4, number 1 spot here. Yeah. So, what's your number 3, Ace?
So it is Janela again, and it was him versus John Wayne Murdoch. And like I mentioned before, John Wayne Murdoch continues to impress me every time I see him. This did surprise me though, and I was happy for it. I was happy that John Wayne Murdoch got the win here. Like I mentioned before, the Avalanche Destroyer through a door for getting the win here. It was surprising to me that Janela lost because of, and maybe I'm just disconnected a little bit from it because I watch just the big events. I'm not following, I guess, as closely as you guys do on the fucking GCW show. But I thought Janela was being built up to be the bigger guy in the company, especially with the push they were giving him. Have him lose here seemed a little bit out of place, in my opinion. But maybe that's just a compliment to John Wayne Murdoch.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you, but I also think it goes to the old wrestling just aspect that losing doesn't make you, it doesn't take away from anything, and just as much as winning doesn't make your career. You know what I mean? Like you could take the loss and still outperform everybody on the card and make a hell of a match out of it. And I think Joey Janela is really good at doing that. I really think he's comfortable in that place to where it won't let him affect the outcome in the future of where his character's going, what his overall game plan is. And I think Janela, I keep saying Genoa, but I think Janela is, he's just one of those amazing workers that can, work a fucking number 4 spot on a card and make it a beautiful, beautiful match. So I wholeheartedly agree with you on that one, man.
The other thing I want to mention about this match too is Janela did a spot with the yellow liquid that he did the Triple H bit spitting out.
The piss jar, as the commentator so lovingly put it.
So yeah, I mean, I wanted to call it yellow liquid because I want to believe that it's just yellow Gatorade or whatever. But that was funny, and I think that that's a part of Joey Janela's matches where he still is in touch with that side of him, but still has this edge to him. And I think he's really skirting that line of being, the Joey Janela of old, where he's doing these matches where he's being comical, but also being this like death match, very serious guy that we're seeing in the X-Pac feud. So I think he's doing a beautiful job of that. And GCW, he's found a home there. I think GCW is his home now. And I think for me, he's an ambassador for the brand, and you can only use him to do good things for the promotion. And going forward, I think Janela is going to play a huge piece of the future, whether he's going to be the guy that they're building around, which obviously they're not, or building new stars and getting guys over and using your ability to be a superstar and get them to get a rub from you. And I think he did just that for John Wayne Murdoch this weekend.
No, absolutely, man. Could have voted better myself. My number 3 is you can't have a GCW top 5, I feel, without throwing one of the death matches on there. And my favorite from this weekend was Jimmy Lloyd versus Alex Colon. Fucking brutal. They had that awesome spot where they both first off, light tubes galore, glass galore.
Oh my God,
they were throwing each other all over the place. I forgot what movie did it when he did the spot off the apron. You know what I'm talking about? And they both went through the fucking thing. Alex Colon like tripped on the door. You could see Jimmy Lloyd sit up for a minute and like, "You all right, bro?" Like as he's the guy who's supposed to be selling it the worst. He's like, "Hey man, you okay?" But
100%.
If you're looking for a good death match, like I feel like this was a standout over the weekend for me. Jimmy Lloyd is so fucking entertaining every time he's on the card. I love Jimmy Lloyd so much. You're fucking with a different boy. It's Jimmy Lloyd.
So for you, I mean, we mentioned before that AJ Gray had travel issues. So do you think this match was better because Jimmy Lloyd was involved, or do you think Alex Colon and AJ Gray would have had a better match? I think they're different. I think they would have been different.
Yeah, I think it would have absolutely been different. But when you're in a tough spot like that and you do have like travel issues and all that shit, Jimmy Lloyd is the guy to depend on. We've seen him in death matches before. He's fan-fucking-tastic. Really, he's a good seller. He's a good in-ring performer. I love watching him. Like, I pop every time he comes out because I'm just like, yeah. And like Kevin Gill, just, it's another fucking boy. It's Jimmy Lloyd. You can't not love him, man. He's got just a cool vibe to him. But yeah, I think it would have been a more serious death match if AJ Gray got out there on time. So I think Jimmy Lloyd kind of makes those death matches a little bit easier on the non-death match fan to watch. So it's good stuff.
Other notable thing from this match, the "Fuck Ohio" chant that was being directed at Lloyd for the offense was funny. Especially, I mean, since they were in Ohio the night before, so that was actually hilarious. Like you said, I mean, if you like death matches, and I think people that watch DCW are looking for a match like this, it gave you everything you wanted. So, I mean, package pile drivers, you had light tubes, you had apron spots, like you mentioned, glass panes, like you had so much stuff going on. I think the ending of the match was great. We saw the end with Colon went to the top and delivered the double foot stomp. And then got the 3. So that looks devastating, looks legitimate. That move looks, I mean, you have to have a legitimate finish to a match like that with all these weapons. And I think they did a good job of tying up and making it look realistic.
100%. And that's the art of the death match with GCW. They make these brutal, violent matches still make sense. It's not just senseless violence. The guys that are the violent guys, they have a reasoning. They build them as these badass dudes, So like Murdoch is a great example. Murdoch's just this burly guy. I would expect him to be the deathmatch guy in any bar after 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
It's got nothing to do with him being a wrestler. I just think he's a bad motherfucker. I would stay far, far away from him. And I think they do a good job representing like, oh, these are the deathmatch guys. And then like you get a guy like a Jimmy Lloyd or even Cole Raddick when he did that death match a few months ago, and he was carving himself up with the light tubes, and this little 160-pound dude is just one fucking he got into it and felt it. Like they add an entertainment value to it where you're like, wow, impressive, man.
Yeah, it's like when Mikey Whipwreck earned his stripes in ECW, where like they used the violence to kind of, or even Tommy Dreamer all those many years ago wasn't the innovator of violence. He was like a jobber wrestler wearing tights, and it took a very long time for Tommy Dreamer to earn his stripes, but he eventually did. Now people associate those types of matches with him. So it's interesting where it takes you. And some people really speak to these styles of matches, and it's not for everybody. It's not for every fan, but it certainly has its place in wrestling. It's lasted this long, and it will continue to last through the future, well after we're gone.
100%, man. Moving on, your number 2, please.
So I have the Briscoes versus the Second Gear Crew in the high incident match, and this match was a lot of fun. Anytime the Briscoes are on the GCW card, it's must watch. This is the reason you buy the pay-per-view. This is the reason why you tune into Fight TV. The Briscoes are there. And just to kind of reiterate what the Turnbuckle Tavern is, saying about the Briscoes, they deserve, we want to talk about Janela deserving their flowers. The Briscoes deserve to be recognized on a national platform. These guys go out there and give 135% every time they're out there, no matter what match it is, no matter if it's in front of 100 people or 3,000 people. They go out there and give it their all. And, my one complaint about this match is the fact that it was a draw. Like, I just don't like that it's an inconclusive finish. I understand why you go that route. It was fun. I thought it was a great ending to a good night of wrestling. I don't understand having the draw, because neither one of these teams would have been hurt by a loss here, especially with the way it had to go down.
Absolutely.
But I think they earned their respect of the crowd, obviously. And as you guys see the scaffold, it was an awesome setup. And scaffolding matches are as old as, like I mentioned, Jim Cornette in 1986, falling, breaking his legs, and New Jack in whatever year that was, 1995, 96, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's been going on
for wrestling. Yeah, absolutely.
And when done right, it's a visual. Like, if not for anything, it provides for clips you can use in compilations for years to come to be like, this is what we do. This is how hardcore we are. And on top of it, you have Mark and Jay Briscoe, who go out there and just absolutely tear it up. And I'm not taking anything away from Mance Warner and Matthew Justice, because they are just as much a part of this as well.
Yeah.
These guys, you can tell that they carry the pride of GCW on their back. They know that what they're doing is important, and they take a lot of pride in, being a part of the promotion and doing these types of matches. The other thing, they had a "fuck that table" chant that they were chanting until Jay ended up powerbombing Justice through it. So the crowd was fun too. That's what I wanted to mention too about not that the Columbus crowd wasn't good. It just feels like Harpo has this different atmosphere, whether it's the way the sound travels in there or gets trapped in. Feels like the crowd's right on top of you. You have people on a stage. It just feels more special. And then on top of it with this match, just an absolute pleasure to watch. And the more I think about it, the less the ending bothers me. But I wish selfishly that we had a conclusive ending. But that's just me nitpicking. It was a fun match.
For sure. And I'll touch up on it when we get to it, when I bring it up eventually. But my number 2 was just because I'm a huge Motor City Machine Gun guy, and I couldn't leave him off the list. And this was really hard to pick which match, but I went with Alex Shelley versus Jordan Oliver. I know he had a killer weekend, but this was so good. And man, he was saying that Jordan Oliver was trained by, I can't think of the name off the top of my head. He did this beautiful speech after the match, and it was like beautiful, and you're talking two guys that can go at it at a high volume, very fast paced wrestling, good back and forth spots, just fucking beautiful wrestling,
Absolutely. It was a great match. And Alex Shelley's one of those guys. I can compare him to Gargano a little bit. Alex Shelley's just been doing it a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Like, he really fits that type of aura that Gargano would bring. And Alex Shelley fits perfectly in GCW, in my opinion. It's weird to me that he's not in a bigger promotion because just how much he has behind him, has all that tag team work. I mean, he was involved in Impact and TNA for a long time. He has a lot of longevity behind him. And it's weird to me that he's not involved in something bigger, not, poo-pooing what GCW is, but I just think on top of what he's doing in GCW, I thought he'd be maybe, getting a shot at being in AEW or something, because I think his knowledge and I guess ability in the ring still would lend itself to helping the young wrestlers on the AEW roster. He is, it's invaluable the amount that Alex Shelley can bring to you. He's been doing it for so long. You talk about Chris Daniels and Frankie Kazarian, and Alex Shelley's right there with him.
Oh, 100%. Motor City Machine Guns. I mean, they were one of the best tag teams of the 2000s, in my opinion, even going in the later 2010s and on. It's just a very talented dude, veteran in the business at this point, and could add so much more flavor to a show like both of this whole weekend. I mean, he was on both shows. He was great. And I love watching work the singles career now after the Motor City Machine Guns is kind of, I think they're still doing a little bit of Impact here and there, but like, I love that this is just Shelley's business here. And he's a great competitor solo, as good as a fucking tag match guy. So, I mean, him and Jordan Oliver really, really put a nice standout spot on the weekend. I just enjoyed both the match. I like both the matches he was in. The one at Harpos was fantastic too. He fought Nick Wayne, right?
Yep.
And it was just you're talking putting over younger talent, man. You got Jordan Oliver and Nick Wayne, the two young dogs on the roster, man. So it's awesome to see. Really, really cool shit.
Yeah, absolutely great match. I like the Wayne match better for Alex Shelley, but at the end of the day, both matches are great. But yeah, Alex Shelley is one of those guys that people sort of forget the accomplishments that he has in the business. Go back and watch some old Alex Shelley matches. If you take anything from this, watch GCW, like and subscribe to everything Turnbuckle Tavern, but go watch some Alex Shelley stuff. Yeah, because I think he's underrated.
Ring of Honor, TNA.
In the history of wrestling, he's, the guy has had some memorable moments and continues to kill it in the ring. Obviously, he's still doing it today and killing it in the ring in GCW. And you have to want it. You have to want it, man. If you're doing what he does in GCW, he clearly still has the drive, and it's awesome to see.
100%. With that said, it's time for our number ones, and we both kind of already talked about our number ones a little bit, but go right ahead. I know, hit it off, man.
So Joey Janela versus Bandito. I was looking forward to this match more so than any match on the card. I mean, maybe Too Cold Scorpio versus Murdoch Suzuki, but anytime Bandito's involved, obviously I'm wearing the Honor Society shirt, Ring of Honor, Bandito, former Ring of Honor world champion, one of the more underrated wrestlers in the world. Competing Let's Go Joey and Bandito chance was awesome to see. Great to see both these guys getting some love. Cool that Janella was selling the night before. I always love that as well. Yeah. That really is a huge nod to John Wayne Murdoch, that the beating he gave Janella wasn't for naught. Janella was really beat up. Luckily, Janella was able for himself to overcome the beating and get the win here. But this match was really, really fun. If you're looking for a quality main event level match, this had it all. And I think Janella, like we said, he got the win here. I know he got the loss the first night. But I don't think it damages Bandito. I think just having Bandito involved in a match like this is really, really cool. Some cool spots I wrote down here. The rolling German snap suplexes that Bandito does. It looks so great. He could bounce around the ring like a smaller luchador, but he's a sneaky big guy. He has some size on him, and he runs around the ring just seamlessly. He has the ability to work so smoothly. He's so polished. Even if you go back and watch some of Bandito's older stuff, when he was involved in the first main event for All In. Yeah. With Rey Mysterio and all that stuff. He was involved in that match, and Bandito is every bit deserving of spotlighted matches on every card, and this was just another one of them. to add to the list. And, the crowd loved it. They ate it up. I don't want to say it again, but I will. Harpos really added to the atmosphere for this match, and it took it over the top for me.
100%. Both men kind of got their flowers this weekend on just this match alone.
Yeah, I agree.
I thought it was a fantastic job at Janella. Like I said, Janella's on such a run right now, and you put him in the ring with a Bandito, who's somebody who's been around for a good amount of time, fucking main event and shows for Ring of Honor. Like you said, I forgot he was in All In. All In had this stacked, mixed mashup card of everybody that wasn't underneath the WWE contract. But Bandito is such a talented performer, man, and he does everything. It looks effortlessly when he's in the ring, and I don't know what more you could want out of a guy.
Yeah, he is a workhorse, man. He goes out there, and like I said, he's always the guy playing second fiddle to whoever's in the match. But you have to wonder, why is that the fact? It's just that he happens to he almost blends in. He does so much so well that you're never really second guessing it. But anything he does in the ring, I feel like since everything looks so easy, nothing really stands out. Yeah. And I think it's like a blessing and a curse for a guy like that. But if you really watch everything he's doing, also selling, wearing a mask too. He has the ability to sell while wearing a mask and garner sympathy from the crowd without the ability of having facial expressions. The body language, he's such a professional that, I just think he could be the headline of any promotion. Bring him anywhere and you put him in a main event type of feud. Bandito is going to make you some money. I really do. I think he's great. And I love that style of wrestling. So maybe I'm a sucker for it, but awesome match. To me, I ranked it number one. It was my match of the weekend.
Yeah, no, good shit. You said it best. And, just throwing it back real quick, that Honor Society shirt you're wearing right now, I think that's available at ProWrestlingTees.com. Just type in the Turnbuckle Tavern Brother, and you can find all of the badass merchandise we got there. I think there's a nice, sweet-looking Ace shirt, too.
It is. So, it's actually behind this door. I'm not going to grab it, but I'll be probably wearing it for Honor Society on Thursday.
I like it.
So whoever ordered them when it first came out, they got them delivered. I got some texts from people that their Ace shirts came. So I'm expecting... thank you for the support for everyone that bought it. Tyson, thank you for accepting the stickers. I know you posted on Instagram as well. So I appreciate all the support. I love you guys. This is awesome. So, but support the Honor Society, support all of Turnbuckle Tavern. It's a big family here, and we all just love wrestling, and we love to give out content for you guys. It's just another day in sunshine for us doing this.
110%. And with that being said, my number one, Suzuki. Minoru Suzuki, Murder Papa, as we like to call him here at the fucking GCW show, and Too Cold Scorpio was, I know you touched on how it was a shorter match. Both men are older gentlemen, and by gentlemen, I say that with a grain of salt. They beat the piss out of each other. They made it look good. Too Cold Scorpio coming down the ring, taking a hit off of somebody in the crowd's vape pen, stops for a minute, shakes it off. You see him exhale the smoke. Forgive me for not knowing the age, but for however old Scorpio is, to see him going
56.
in the ring,
he's 56 years old. Made his debut in 1986.
37 years in the goddamn business. Dude, wild that he could still go the way he does. And I remember it was I think it was the Cardona versus Nick Gage show. He fought Grim Reaper, and they were just smoking weed in the crowd in the ring, just doing these crazy ass spots. But Too Cold could still go, and this match just lived up to everything you could possibly match. I don't know, 10 years ago, if somebody was like, you're going to see Too Cold Scorpio going at a high level still, I'd be like, fucking, you're full of shit, man. He was one of my favorite parts of ECW back in the day. He was Flash Funk. I was a huge Flash Funk fan when I was a kid for whatever fucking reason. But this was just this was like getting dessert after dessert, this is really good.
So perspective taking for, I always love to do this in hindsight and like to think about putting everyone into the same headspace. Yeah. Go back in time. He debuted 100%. In WCW teaming as a mystery partner 1992 with Ron Simmons. Clash of Champions 11. So in June 1993, he challenged Barry Windham for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship and then lost. He was World Tag Team Championship with Bagwell in 1993. The dude's been around.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned his ECW run. He had his run with the Job Squad in WWF. I mean, he's been around doing stuff, and you know what? I'm happy that he's still doing it. Obviously, he loves it, and it was a great match. It didn't have any. I had nothing to complain about aside from just saying I wanted to go longer, but that's just a compliment to two guys doing what they were doing.
Yeah, absolutely. They had some great spots in the match. They beat the piss out of each other, and it's for two dudes that we've been watching. I mean, Suzuki a little less, but Suzuki's been around for forever. So like I wasn't following Suzuki when I was younger, but the aura he brings to the ring, and this is like a fucking awesome pairing. And this is just something you would only see in GCW. You're not going to see Suzuki versus Too Cold Scorpio anywhere else. And I thought it was fitting to throw up at the number one just because it was such a fun match. The only thing that took away from any of these matches was the damn audio issues, because I felt like this match would have been better with full audio. I think they lost it a couple minutes into it, and then they had to finish it out with no audio. Yeah. It's a shame, but I think it was on Fight TV's fault, not GCW this time, because when they came back, the commentators were still going, like they weren't missing a beat. So I figured it was the Fight TV signal, because it cut out a few times live.
Yeah, I thought it was because I was watching on the Discord with you guys, so I thought maybe it was like on our end. I don't know.
No, that's why I kept asking. I was like, "Is it okay with everybody?" It's like, you guys don't hear sound, right? And they're like, "No, it's because I thought my shit was just screwing up."
Yeah,
but it was definitely a Fight TV issue. Which, granted, the last string of GCW is going probably like 3-4 months back. They've been stellar. We've had barely any audio issues, barely any issues whatsoever. So, Harpos is an old building.
Yeah,
it could be.
But also, you could spin it. It's part of the appeal. It's like it's
absolutely
just like it's an outlaw mud show that you don't know what's going to get. It's unpredictable, and matches, they are scripted, but maybe they're not. Like people like there's reasonable doubt.
Yeah, the only thing that would have made it better is if they strung in some like 1950s like black and white piano in the
oh my god!
Like I would have loved it, man. But it was so good, man. So that's our Ain't No Jive 5. I think we did pretty good, and let's just keep going because we're on a fucking roll here. But it's time for us to call out our hell yeah, man. Since you're here and you are the guest, I'll let you go first as always. But hit me, man, because I'm very curious to hear what yours is, because I think you know what mine is. But I'm very curious to hear what yours is.
So mine was John Wayne Murdoch defeating Hoodfoot to retain the GCW Ultraviolent Championship match. Ooh. And this match, to me, it's the perfect opportunity to let it build, guys, and let the story be told. Started out slow, but the crowd didn't lose patience. And then it started to really get going. And then you saw the light tubes getting going. And then you really saw some of the violence and the gore. I mean, this is the type of GCW stuff that could turn a lot of people off and make them not want to watch, or make people, this is what they tune in for. Yeah. This is what you watch GCW for, and what the image that they've developed over time. It's because of matches like this. And I thought both of these guys really showed out here. John Wayne Murdoch, I mean, I keep mentioning his name all over the place. It's like when you're watching a hockey game, they keep mentioning guys' names. Like he's all over the ice. This guy was awesome this weekend. And I'm not going to give you my BMF, but spoiler alert, this guy is the MVP of the weekend for me. I just thought he was a guy that came out and used it as a platform to expand who he is and the star he is. Hoodfoot was gushing blood, and the ring was an absolute mess. The visuals were incredible. And I mentioned before, Harpos really edited it as well with the dim lighting and the blood everywhere. It felt like this was like a backyard wrestling match with blood everywhere that kind of went wrong. Yeah. So we saw the ending with the Saito suplex for a 2 count, and then he set up a pane of glass and went to suplex Murdoch through it, but he countered, and Murdoch suplex Hoodfoot through the glass and got the 3 count. I thought this match had everything. If you wanted death match and gore, had everything. Was my match of the weekend. This is what you want from GCW, and they gave it to you in spades.
I absolutely love it, man. There was some scary ass spots in there too. There was that one Murdoch threw what's his name through the corner where they had the light tube set up, and it almost looked like it pierced his throat on Hoodfoot.
Yeah,
and I was like, "Oh shit, man!" Like, like my wife was like, "What are you yelling at him for?" I was like, "He almost died."
Dude, he had Murdoch had the jagged edge of the broken tube being carved into the open wound that he had developing, and it was just I was like, I don't know.
It's an image, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not for the faint of heart. This is sort of fitting into, you want to talk about wrestling as a buffet, certain things you're staying away from. Maybe you're not into whatever spicy foods over there, you stay away from it. But if you like spicy food, if you like death matches, man, you show up time and time again, and this is what they give you, you're going to come back for more.
Yeah, and Hoodfoot is so fucking good. He's a gusher too, but he really goes all in on these death matches, and he gets busted open, he gets cut up. He's a fucking thug, man, and another guy I would not want to fuck with whatsoever. Absolutely, it's a great match, and it was definitely a fucking highlight of this weekend. I think it was fantastic, man.
And then we had the end of the match too. We had obviously Murdoch calling Cologne out, and that set up the match that we talked about at the beginning of the show, which added to the match as well, because it just kind of set Murdoch on a different pedestal of he's coming for Cologne now. So it felt like he's on the rise.
Good storytelling from an Outlaw Mud show.
Yeah,
the guys, 100%, man. And listen, my number one, my best bout, I had to pick the scaffold match, the high incident match, as they like to call it. And I just want to throw up a small little clip if I could find it here. Yeah, we got the fall from the end of it, and then I'll go back and kind of talk my way through it. But here we go. That is ballsy no matter what. And they had a pretty nice angle from it live on the show. That was some cam footage. I just thought this was a great all-round beat 'em up, throwing the fuck. They used every ounce of this venue to their. It wasn't your typical scaffold match. They went for the tables right away. It was like, what are you guys doing? They grabbed every fucking chair in the house, and I could just hear Brett Lauderdale sitting there going, oh, wrong one. Hold on.
Please stop breaking the fucking chair.
But yeah, man, they literally tore everything up. They had off the what's it called, the stage shot, table spots. They were jumping all over the place, beat the piss out of each other. And I do agree with you. The no contest at the end, if you will,
lusty finish, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think hopefully it builds to something else. That's what I want out of it. You know what I mean? But I thought it was, I don't think we've ever seen a scaffold match end in a no finish.
I don't think so. I was thinking back in
draw.
we need like a producer come out here and do some research for us. But after the show, I will definitely do some research. But I can't think of a time where there's usually, it's hard to do because you have to have it timed perfectly where both guys go through the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was wondering what they were going to do since they used most of the tables.
True.
And this is a huge thing. Honorable mention for Badass of the Week, the tables. This is the first time I've seen real tables used at a GCW show since we started covering it, and they did a good job, man. Gigging a table is a hard thing to do. They clearly did not, because there's the spots where the tables were the fuck that table chance. The tables just weren't breaking for a few. It's not an easy thing to do, man. But I give kudos to all four guys. I thought they fucking tore the house down. Mark and Jay Briscoe, Mance Warner, Matthew Justice, just all fucking did a stellar job at making this a fun, high incident scaffold match, and that's why that's my best bout, man.
Yeah. So before we move on from I said what I said about the match, but I want to just mention the other part too from the opening match of night 2. So Tony Deppen against Billy Starks, Jordan Oliver, Yoya, and Steve Scott in a 5-way scramble match. There was one really funny spot, and you almost knew they were going to do it. But there was a sign. I don't know if you've noticed it. I'm sure you did because it was in the crowd. It said no stage diving at Harpos because if they had I guess concerts there and all that.
Yeah.
having Yoya climb the speaker system and diving off on everyone below, right in front of the sign with no stage diving was like the most gangsta punk rock thing I think I've seen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I was cool. I just wanted to mention that because it wasn't one of my top 5 or one of my match of the night, but I thought it was actually
for
really
sure.
fun. So
and I'll throw it out to the other scramble match too. Gringo Loco. That I forget who else was in that. It was just a fun match. There's some silly spots, but good stuff, fun shit. And
yeah, the scramble matches are fun. It's a good way to get guys on the card and just like kind of get the crowd up on their feet because it's just it's like a shot of Red Bull. It just gets you going.
Yeah,
so
it's a good hyper, man. Good segue through. And with that said, my friend, it's time for the
BMF of the weekend.
Yeah, man. So I'll change it up just because I was just talking about it, but I'm gonna go first on this one. My bad motherfuckers of this weekend was the Briscoe Brothers, Mansporter, Matthew Justice. You know, they did such a good job. They literally bled, tore the house down, beat the fucking piss out of each other, like that both parties owed somebody some money. So I broke the mold. I gave it a little 4-way contest, but I thought it was just a fun thing, and I love the Briscoes. Like we said earlier, they need to be on a national platform because they don't even need to do these kind of matches, and they're still top fucking tag team. You know, so it's cool to see. So kudos to all 4 men involved in that high incident match, man.
Honestly, I give it up because the Briscoes don't have to do matches like this anymore, and they've been doing it for so long. They still go out there and give it like I said before, whether there's 50 people in the crowd or 3,000, they go out there and do their damn thing, and you're going to get your money's worth when you see the Briscoes in the ring. So I love them. They do it. Every time you go out there and watch them, it's going to be good. So, and I thought that you did a great job describing the quality of the match because it really was something memorable. If you're going to go back and watch something from this weekend, pick and choose. I mean, I would go with our list of 5. I think that really sums up the good weekend. But that was one of the matches that you need to check out. It was my number 2, your number 1. So it was a match that you need to check out. So my badass motherfucker of the weekend was John Wayne Murdoch, and I thought he 2 stellar matches this weekend. I wouldn't say it's a coming out party because people know about him, and he's been doing his thing for quite some time. Yeah, he's the current GCW Ultraviolent champion. Continues to do his damn thing, trying to bring prestige back to death matches and keep them going. The promo you showed, that was just another way of showing people that death match is an art. It's not just going out there and just hitting spots. There is storytelling that goes into these matches, and I think it needs to be appreciated. It may not be for everyone, just like certain things are not for everybody else. But I thought this match that he had, the 2 matches he had were a great highlight of what he can do and what he can bring to any promotion he goes to. And I love what he's been doing. And I'm just looking forward to what they continue to do with him because every time I see him, he goes out there, he just continues to impress me more and more. So he was among a lot of sea of badasses. Murdoch was number 1 for me.
Hell yeah, dude. Absolutely. I'm with it, man. 110%. Dude is just, I wouldn't want to walk up to him in an ice cream parlor, let alone on the street or anywhere. He is a fucking badass. And he keeps, like you said, he keeps proving himself over and over again. I've just thoroughly enjoyed his work since we started covering GCW and look forward to it.
I just want to ask you your thoughts on the BUSSY versus with the ASF and Gringo Loco tag title match from night 2. What were your thoughts on that match? You think it was a little disappointing because both of us didn't mention it at all?
I'm surprised we didn't mention it. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad.
I love this match. I thought it was good.
No, I don't. Like, that's the thing. When we put these lists and everything together, you it's not like you're watching a Dynamite and you got only 6 matches to go over. We have 2 full 3, sometimes 4-hour cards to put all this through. An honorable mention for sure. At 100%. I think it was fun. I love BUSSY. I'm a big fan of BUSSY. I think Effy and Allie Katch are some of the top performers out there right now. And obviously we know my admiration for Gringo Loco. So I think it was great, man. It is weird that it didn't make the list, right?
No, I agree. And like
retrospectively.
give a shout out to Gringo for the amazing frog splash that he hit as well. Climbing up my list of frog splashes because it's hard to hit a frog splash. I mean, Montez Ford is probably cream of the crop right now, but Gringo is going to give him, and he's right there. I mean, you look at RVD, Eddie Guerrero, D'Lo Brown, best frog splashes in the history of wrestling. I mean, Gringo's frog splash is very, very good.
100%, man. Like you said it earlier, he's going to be one of those guys that's just going to be going around to bigger and better things as he keeps going, and he might not want to. Maybe bigger and better things than GCW. You know, maybe AAA. I'd love to see more of him in the lucha, whole bubble. You know, not that I don't like him outside the bubble because I think he's fantastic. It's just, that frog splash is fan-fucking-tastic, man.
Well, Triple Mania is coming up, and I know the card's not cemented yet, and we have some names that are traveling over there, so it's possible that he goes over there as well. I know that the travel restrictions are becoming a little bit looser, so you're able to get over there, and hoping that Triple Mania is a good card, but. I mean, the doors are opening for him because of how talented he is. It's not for anything else. He's putting in the work and, working this match. I mean, we talk about GCW, you talked about before, you're inundated with great quality stuff. If you're not watching GCW, guys, you're missing something special. You're watching ECW in its prime type of wrestling. You're missing that. I'm not sure if I can say it clearer for you guys. Like, you are missing quality stuff if you're not going out of your way to order these pay-per-views, buy the merchandise, supporting them for what they're doing, because it's different than the mainstream wrestling that's being shoved down your throats for years and years and years. So if you want to support wrestlers that are putting their artistic craft ahead of like any sort of machine, GCW is where you can watch it. And it's so affordable, $12.99 for each of these nights. It's $25. It's, it's cheaper than going out, for almost takeout. I mean, Taco Bell, so make it a night, buy it, just have your friends over and support them. Buy a GCW shirt, buy a Gringo Loco shirt.
I was just about to say, you see the workers, you anybody that we've mentioned tonight, or then some people that you love, Tony Deppen, it's just absolutely Speedball Mike Bailey. Anytime they show up, go buy a t-shirt of theirs. If you're a fan of them, go buy the shows. It's not, it's not more than, it's less than parking in downtown Chicago.
That's right. There you go.
Go buy
maybe I'm just a savage because I buy $25 worth of Taco Bell, but
I trust me, I hit my fair share last night. I don't want to talk about it.
He's hardcore.
Not saying I hit a party pack, but I ate a party pack and then some.
You deserve it. You deserve it.
I do it for Alex Zane, and I do it for Alex Zane and fucking with heart, damn it. Man, this was a fucking stellar episode of the fucking GCW show. And before we go, I did want to play this one thing because he hasn't been on the shows. GCW champion Jon Moxley. He did a little post-collective promo as well. So let me throw that up real fast before we get out of here. And
third match in 24 hours. And let me tell you, I guarantee you there ain't another motherfucker in this game that has a 24 hours like the 24 hours I just had. And that's why I am the GCW World Champion. The GCW World Champion has to be a very particular kind of individual, a very zero fucks given individual, and that's what I am. I walked in AJ Gray's house and I took him out, just like I walked into Homicide's house and I took him out. And I walked into Nick Gage's house and I took him out. Somebody, somewhere, someday is gonna take me out, and I know it's coming. And I can't see him, and it scares the shit out of me, because right now I don't see anybody that's gonna knock me off the top of the hill. But I know they're out there. So the question, who's it gonna be?
Wow.
Yeah.
Who is it going to be, Mike Belcaster? Who's taking the title off Moxley? Putting you on the spot right now.
He said he can't see him. I'm going with John Cena. Just throwing that out there. Deathmatch King, John Cena. No, that's a good question, man. I think it's got to go to. I think it's got to go to like a younger guy, somebody we haven't seen in this aspect yet. Come up and challenge Mox. And what a fucking promo, dude! He exudes fucking awesomeness. You know, ain't another motherfucker out there that had a weekend like I had. Like you believe everything. I love the out of breath after match promos that they do for GCW where they're getting fucking bandaged up and stuff, and Mox is just killing it. Who do you think is going to challenge Mox or take the title?
Kind of fantasy book it. I would love to see Effy have an edge to him and take Moxley out. I think we saw an edge to him, and we continue to with the Jeff Jarrett stuff. And I think that we see that sort of paranoid version of Effy if he can have this hardcore side where a switch just turns and like he can be this lovable character where everyone is singing along to his theme song, but when the bell rings, he's just as sadistic and I guess violent as John Moxley could be. And I think it'd be a good way to transition because I think Effy's on we mentioned all these guys, but Effy I feel like is on the precipice of like jumping to the stratosphere of being a superstar. I just think his brand is getting so big, and I think what him and Allie Katch have been doing with the tag team stuff with Bussy has been a lot of fun. And yes, Nick Storm, I know what it means. Sir. It doesn't mean the same thing in Australia.
It doesn't mean the same thing here when we're talking GCW. It means Allie Katch and Effy.
But I just think it would be cool enough to be fantasy booking. I honestly think it's going to wind up being some guy like Chris Dickinson, or maybe even a John Wayne Murdoch. We talk about him as he's the Ultraviolent champion, but why not him? But I think the title should be on a guy that they want to, I guess, push to the next level. And I think Effy's right there, ready for superstardom. And who else is better than him? Charismatic, good in the ring. I love the message that he spreads as well. Yeah. Great following. I'm a huge fan of Effy, and he's sort of what brought me into the fold of GCW. I'll be honest. Like he's a great follow on social media. So, I would love it to be Effy versus John Moxley because that's a clash of two diametrically different styles, and I think it'd be so much fun.
Yeah, no, listen, that's a very, very good call, and I'd be here for it.
I just want to bring up too. I know we're hitting the hour 30 minute.
You're great, man.
You and I are, we're like old pals now because you and I did a shot of nostalgia now. We traveled 30 years together, so we can stay here as long as we want.
How we roll, man.
The one thing I want to mention too is I'm always in the comments here because I watch you guys every week, and I love what you and Chad do. I did mention the day after WrestleMania when Lauderdale was taking the picture with Stephanie McMahon, and I said possible relationship with GCW and ECW, and you guys were like, nah, I don't think it's happening. Imagine seeing, the Forbidden Door. We may see it. I know we didn't talk about it in the news, but
I forgot all about it.
There's a budding relationship between both parties, and I don't know if it's good or bad, but it's going to happen. It seems like they're moving towards that, and settling that the litigation against them was a step in the direction of sort of tying their wagon to something a little more professional.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I know I heard ramblings that they want to dip into getting the blood sport.
Barnett's
theme,
blood sport.
And I understand why, because that's not necessarily like that would have been the perfect thing. What do they call that? Raw Underground or whatever.
100%. Yeah,
that would have been the way to do Raw Underground, and it would have made an awesome. It would have made an awesome showing if WWE kind of booked GCW to just come in and do the Josh Barnett's blood sport for that segment, as opposed to rebranding it as their own thing. And I think it would have been like, wow, WWE's like they're using that Forbidden Door mentality. Do I see like a library going up on the network? No, because Peacock and death matches doesn't seem like it goes hand in hand together.
Right.
Where it leads, I don't know. Could it be, we really like these young talent that you're working on. Maybe we can sign them in the future. I think it's more along one of the lines of that thing. But listen, both parties aren't dumb. If there's money to be made, if there's a good concept that is presented to Brett Lauderdale or vice versa, Brett Lauderdale's presenting to Stephanie McMahon, I don't see why they wouldn't listen to him. I don't see why they wouldn't feel it out.
It certainly would provide a lot of, conflict, because Moxley and Nick Wayne and guys that from the AEW side, would they be able to still have a relationship with GCW if WWE is now involved? And the other thing I'm thinking about is we watched a show like the Hammerstein Ballroom where that felt them. I talked about this when we did the whole conversation about venues. It feels like where they are now in these smaller venues, like what's the appeal? The appeal of GCW is an intimate feel, the culture that they've created. And if you become a little bit too big for that, I'm not saying they're ever going to do arena shows. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is if you start to have a $1 billion industry get involved in what you're doing, they start to nickel and dime and I guess pester you to the death where you're like, you have to fit a certain image, and whether or not that is conscious or subconscious, it's going to start to happen because if someone else is funding you guys, and I know Paul Heyman had that battle when he was doing the ECW stuff in 93.
Yes.
Or was it 93 or a little bit later?
It was like 90,
95, 96.
I think it started like whatever. Yeah, like I'll say 96 to even when they closed doors, they were still getting checks from WWE.
Yeah, so that they kept what the spirit was in ECW, but it was like almost hidden. But now it'd be so transparent that they'd be, especially a publicly traded company, GCW would be under their books, and like at these broker meetings and the shareholders sitting in a room saying like, why are we supporting GCW and what they do? It's bad for our image. And are they willing to put up with all that other stuff going on? The death match type of matches, the light tubes for the Barnett blood sport concept. Is it that worth it for them? For me, like blood sport is whatever. It just is kind of an event that they put on.
Yeah.
It's not, but maybe, I don't know. They want to tap into that UFC bare knuckle boxing. Vince McMahon has his eyes on that stuff. He's always has something he wants to do, like looks like shoot fights, and I think that's what it looks like. I don't know. I mean, it's a good conversation to have, but I don't know if it benefits GCW that much, except for Brett Lauderdale being paid better. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
where they're at now is almost perfect. If they could stay like this for the next 20 years, I'd be all in it. But I'm not the one that that's getting paid. I just, as a fan, this is who I want them to be.
Absolutely, and I know. It would be so much easier if WWE wasn't a publicly traded company to help GCW get through the pandemic. You know what I mean? Like give them that. Here's a small check. Let's not talk about it. Right. Maybe we could use. Maybe we'll get Tony Deppen on SmackDown in the future, and you guys continue to build that, just like they did with Taz, RVD, the Dudleys, Sabu. You name it. Like they really. They kind of let Paul Heyman play in his playground by himself, but like by helping him out a little bit, giving him the rub, giving him a couple bucks in his pocket to help pay the talents and stuff. I don't know. We are in wrestling. You never say never. History does tend to repeat itself. But if I was Domino's and I was, buying commercial time from WWE and I see, they're working with Nick Cage, I'm out.
Yeah. Like, and you got to think the Briscoes too are part of this package. And if Time Warner and AEW are having their hesitations getting involved, what do you think WWE is going to be like on that side? So
yeah, absolutely.
It muddies the water a little bit too much for me. I'd rather GCW operate in their own little vacuum and do what they've been doing and play nice with guys like Impact, New Japan, Ring of Honor, AEW, because that fits more of their style of staying within image of who they are. And it's such a delicate balance of, as you become more popular, you want to maintain who you are and not lose sight of the product you're putting on, because ECW never had a chance to sort of outstep who they were because they went out of business in 01.
Yeah.
But certain points, if it wouldn't be GCW if you're putting on a show with 10,000 people, it just wouldn't be the same. It needs to be a small arena, intimate. And I don't know if that's a money-making endeavor for a venture person to come in and say, I want to purchase you. But selfishly, I think the better product is more intimate. I go back to the Hammerstein Ballroom show. It was their worst show in the last couple of months.
Absolutely. The time constraints, everything killed it. Being on pay-per-view killed it. Like, it was not, I mean, that Nick Gage match, that tag match was, it almost retrospectively, it was laughable compared to what we've seen out of GCW in the last 6 months.
Yeah, and like that, it's ironic because most people had their eyes on that. Like, they were casual fans. Like, I need to check it out. Whatever, the major pod guys are there, and it's at Hammerstein Ballroom for the first time since ECW or Ring of Honor ran it. Like, we want to watch wrestling in this venue, and anything that could have went wrong there, I'm sure more could have. But for me as a fan, I was looking forward to showing people that are around me, like, this is GCW. This is what I've been enjoying. I can't wait for you to see it on a big stage.
Yeah.
And it was a colossal flop for me. I'm like, no, please come back. Watch the Harpo show. Watch stuff in Atlantic City. I promise you it's good.
Don't go. No.
Yeah, don't go.
Listen, it was still a great show, but it was not.
Absolutely. It just wasn't in the spirit of who they were. That's I guess, my point.
Like not hearing the whole Hammerstein Ballroom sing "We Built This City" when Tony Deppin's coming out, that takes away from your overall product. And like, I guess you get when you're trying to showcase yourself in a big light and you're constricted while doing so, I think it hinders your product. It hinders your value. It takes away from the wrestlers even, because like Tony Deppin's a great in-ring worker, but that entrance when you're in the right venue and the crowd does the "We Built This City," like it's the shit, and like you feel like you're part of it, and you can't. I don't know. It's like taking an Oreo and scooping half the frosting out and be like, "Here you go, man." And you're like, it was okay. Like,
yeah, dude, the bigger you become, the more on the radar you are with the national market. And that means you can't just pirate music. You can't just play Elton John. You can't play, Starship, We Built This City. You have to do it the right way by the book. And Tony Khan trying to purchase the Final Countdown for Bryan Danielson showed us that some of these bands want a lot of money for these songs, and the royalties go a long way. So I don't know if Effy coming out to a stock theme would have the same effect, or Tony Deppin, same thing.
Yeah.
Obviously you would have the guys that come in with their own music, but the fact that X-Pac was able to use the Aggression DX theme, that was awesome. It made the moment. But if he came out to some stock like guitar music, it wouldn't have felt the same. And they remind me of an old ECW. Like I can't even explain to people that don't watch it. It is. And if you're watching an hour 40 in, I know you know what I mean because you're still here. But that's what it is. And it's like this pirate mentality of we're all in this together. Yeah. And it's just a fun time.
Listen, if you were born after the era of ECW, and I know the comparison goes together, but it also falls short because it's not ECW and blah, blah, blah. We could argue about it all day and night, but this is the closest whole pro wrestling vibe you'll get to an ECW, I think, ever again. I think this is going to be it, at least in my lifetime. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I think this is that punk rock. We are the pirates of pro wrestling. We're coming out here, we're doing whatever the hell we want, and we're going to do it our way. And I think that's what we get out of this. And I think that's a good appeal for GCW on their own. I think that's all you need, because you have so much else out there to work with where you don't need the corporatization of it. You have the internet to work with. I mean, the top fucking tweets, there's some funny ass shit on there. They're calling out the big people too. They don't hold back. And that's what makes it beautiful. It's the indie music scene fighting to keep Napster. Yeah. And the Metallica's trying to kill it. Yeah, that's a dated reference now.
I agree with you. That was definitely it's something I relate to as well. But I look back on ECW and like I was a kid when it was happening. But when things that are special are happening in the moment, it's hard to know it's special until it's long gone.
Yep.
And I think that's what GCW will become 10, 15, 20 years from now. We're going to look at the young talent that's come through these doors. We're going to wax poetic about them. Like, remember old school GCW? Fucking Harpos was sick. Like, just like how people talk about Philly now.
Yeah.
And I just, it's crazy to me that people are just like, they're not investing themselves. Like, if you're a hardcore wrestling fan and you have any interest in like these old school type of wrestling and you felt a certain way about ECW and you're like, oh, I wish it still existed. It does. You have to search for it. It's here. It's happening in real time. And it may not be ECW to a T because it's more of a plethora. And in my opinion, in a lot of ways, it's better. Like in a lot of ways, it's better. It's happening. And it's hard. Like I said, I guess the biggest thing you take away from it, it's hard to know things are special until you're way removed from it. It's like, you don't know what you had until it's gone. I mean, you can apply that anywhere in your life.
No, 100%, man. We
just got deep. We just got deep, Bellcaster.
We did. We cut deeper than the light tubes this weekend. We're feeling it, man. And I think what a better way to kind of ride out into the sunset for tonight. Make sure you are following the Turnbuckle Tavern everywhere and anywhere. Go to theturnbuckletavern.com. You can get everything. I mean, I'm not going to go over the list again. You want to hear it, you got to rewatch it from the beginning. My Excaliburisms are depleted for the evening. But make sure you go follow Acefield Retro everywhere. Everywhere you can get your Acefield Retro. You're on the Twitter. You're on Instagram.
Just
no
Instagram.
Twitter?
If you guys want a sticker, please leave a 5-star review for the Turnbuckle Tavern and screenshot it or send it to Mike Bellcaster. He'll let me know. And I just send Tyson some stickers. I'll send anything you guys want. Just leave it a 5-star review and do your best to do your best to support us in any way possible, because
and with the Acefield stickers, you get some tavern stickers as well. We got Fig Night. We got this. I kind of want to get some fucking GCW show stickers.
I think we need those, and a shirt. I think we need those.
I think we do too. Anything else to plug? You got Honor Society this week. It's going to be fun.
Thursday's Honor Society. We're gathering the info and making sure we have all things Ring of Honor ready for you. We're going to be talking a lot about Cash and Dax going one-on-one on AEW. I know you guys will cover it in the AEW wrap-up show, but I think we're going to get a little bit more into the minutia because it is our baby, and we'll see if anything else Ring of Honor happens throughout the week. We're certainly talking about the history of Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Talking about matches you guys should check out. Also, Shot of Nostalgia. Make sure you guys check that out on Friday. Yes. Whether it's going to be live or tape, we're not sure. Mike and I might get in the lab and record it sometime during this week, or we may be live on Friday. You don't know.
Who knows?
Either way, we're coming to you guys. We will be reviewing 2 episodes of Nitro. Come aboard, come along the journey, and just rewatch 1996 WCW. We've got some great content coming your way. I really appreciate you guys reaching out. There was a lot of good feedback for that show, and there's more coming. And I just really appreciate the opportunity to entertain you guys. And I think it's been a blast to be a part of Turnbuckle Tavern in my short tenure here so far.
Hell, you're very welcome, and we appreciate you hopping on board, man. Like everybody likes to say, you are the ace up the sleeve. So it's good to have you on board, man. And make sure you are following everything we do this week. I mean, I'm not going to go through everything, but just check out the list. We got a little bit of something for everybody. We are the buffet of pro wrestling podcasts, much like GCW is the buffet of professional wrestling. And with that, I will say thank you guys for joining us, and we will catch you next week.
Look at fun.
Fucking dick.